Now that President Ramaphosa has outlined his economic reconstruction and recovery plan, what's next? Well, some economists tell us not to read too much into it. Tourism in some areas is also putting its best foot forward. eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos joins us now via Skype to tell us what we can expect this week and how some of it is affecting South Africans. Heidi, thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Let's start off with some company news. What's this week looking like?
Yes, indeed, Faith. So this week we are going to see some AGMs from Distel as well as Lewis Group, and this will basically highlight and outline the impact of COVID-19 on these massive companies. But specifically, we're going to be looking at the interim results coming from retail giant Pick n Pay. And the reason why this is so significant is because Pick n Pay has already predicted that earnings are going to be down between 50 to 60% for the 6-month period, and they're attributing this to the fact that they could not operate normally because of reduced trading hours because of the lockdown, as well as a limited amount of people allowed in stores, COVID-19 cases pushing certain retailers to close because of the COVID-19 cases, as well as Pick n Pay liquor not operating to full capacity because of the ban on alcohol sales a couple of months ago. So the reason why we're looking out specifically for this is because consumer spending attributes about 60% to GDP. So if we can get an indication of how consumer spending is, we'll be able to see whether or not we're going to have any significant economic growth. So that's a big one that we're looking out for Pick n Pay interim results coming out this week.
And on the other side of it, we see more tourist numbers that are coming out in the next few days.
Yes, exactly. The tourism sector has been completely decimated due to travel restrictions. We know that borders were open for international travel on the 1st of October, but that wasn't very significant for the sector because massive key tourists weren't allowed into the country, such as France, a number of other European countries, the US, the UK, and the Tourism Business Council is predicting that about 140 billion rand has already been lost because of the travel restrictions. So we know that tourism data is expected, and that's going to indicate how the month of August looked like and what the actual impact of the lockdown has been on that sector. We know about 300,000 jobs could possibly be lost in that sector. So it doesn't look very good, and we don't expect those numbers to look good either because of these travel restrictions.
Yeah, and on the other side of it, we've got the President's economic plan, which will still be under the spotlight this week. I think, Heidi, the big question is around implementation. How does it present itself from a realistic perspective?
Very important point that most economists have highlighted, the fact that there is a plan available, but it's very sketchy in terms of implementation. We know the president is saying that he wants to have about 800,000 jobs created, but how is that going to be created? What are the timelines? So many are saying that it could possibly be just a wish list, and many are concerned that it lacks implementation and clear strategy on how the president and government is going to roll out that economic recovery plan. It's going to be debated in Parliament this week. MPs, political parties will be scrutinizing that plan, but economists have already highlighted major red flags in terms of implementation when it comes to the energy sector, as well as those crucial jobs and economic growth.
Heidi Giokos, we'll leave it there for this evening. Our eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos there giving us the latest on the Sunday evening in terms of exactly what you can anticipate for the week ahead.